Hello, I'm Admiral McFish, and this is a tutorial on how to hack and play as Greyfly/Tower of Grey in the PS1 port of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As a reminder, this is a hack for people who are playing it via the PS1 version emulation, not for people playing on real hardware. If you want to do that, you will need to buy an Action Replay or a Game Shark or something like that, basically. For this, you are going to need three things. You will need the game open in emulator. I'm using EPSXE, as I always do for PS1 games. You will need a hacking program, such as Artmoney or Cheat Engine. I recommend Artmoney, it's just a bit more user-friendly. When you open it, make sure to select the emulator itself in this little select process thing here. If you just click it, you'll find it in a scroll-down menu. Click on it, and that's all you need to do for that. You'll also need the character values. Don't worry about these though, I'll include them in the description. But once I put them there, once you see them there, be sure to put them into a Word document like I've done, so you can kind of have them alongside you when you're actually doing the hack itself. Now, this game is the same sort of standard hack as most of them. We're just going to be going into the game, searching for an initial value associated with a character. We'll pick a character, search for the value relevant to them, pick a different character, filter from that point onwards for their value, and then pick another one, filter for their value, and so on and so on, until we actually find the character address or addresses that we need to be able to play as Tower of Grey. So let's just go into training. I always recommend doing this in training because it's just a bit easier to do, really. Right, so I've chosen Polnareff here, and as you can see, he is value 3. So we're going to search initially for value 3. This address range thing here, make sure to click it and switch it to all. If you don't, it won't work otherwise. Not sure why, it just won't, basically. So Polnareff is value 3, so we'll search for 3. Then we'll go and we'll pick a different character. Let's go for Iggy this time. Right, okay. So Iggy is value 5. Now we searched initially, we're going to filter for all the values after this. So Iggy is 5, so we'll filter for 5. Let's do it a couple more times. It doesn't hurt to do it a few more, just narrow down the addresses a bit more. Make sure you're using the same character in relation to the value though, so when you're filtering, you're always doing it for the character, the value, in relation to the character you currently have picked. So Iggy, of course, is 5, that's why I'm filtering continuously for 5. Okay, that's as far as that's going to go, I guess. Let's go back to the character selection screen. Let's see. Let's go for Chaka this time. Shouldn't it be Shaka, I'm pretty sure? If it's supposed to be referencing Shaka Khan. Right, and that is value 7, so we're going to filter for 7. Cool, that's a good sign. Let's do just one more, see if we can narrow that down a bit more. You'll have a number of addresses depending on the game. It can be as high as 40 sometimes, but in most games it'll only be usually 1 or 2. Who should we pick? Let's go with Joseph. Right, and Joseph is value 4, so we're going to filter for 4. Looks like that's as far as that's going to go. Okay. Let's Go back to the character selection menu. Got quite a few values. Now the ones that didn't revert to, or the ones that did revert to 0 rather, are probably going to be the ones that we're looking for. When you have this many, the best thing to do is to just basically do trial and error. So go through them, put in the value, freeze the value in place, try it out. If it doesn't work, then try with a different address instead. So as you can see in this list here, Greyfly is 21. So we're going to take this first address here, put in 21, and then when I click here, that'll freeze the value in place and it'll force it to load Greyfly's value. Yep, there we go, that was easy. And yeah, simple as that. If you're doing this, it should just be a 1-bit integer value. So see 1 next to it here, you should be able to find it, it seems. From my experience, it's usually pretty consistent. So if you get a value that, or if you get a list that only has 10 addresses in, most of the time, the character address itself is going to be the second one you find. What I mean to basically say is that it will be quite consistent. So if you do this again, you'd still have 10 addresses, but the second one would most probably be the one that affected the character value itself, basically. So as a reminder, when you do find that, all you have to do is type in his relevant value, then click here to freeze in place, or you can right-click and click freeze here to do the exact same thing. There are some people who were very interested in this, I guess because JoJo's one of those series that has, shall we say, a very zealous fan base. There isn't much that you can really do with him. He's a very basic character, hence why he's not playable in the first place, as you would imagine. Hope this helps you out. It's a pretty basic hack on the whole, but there might still be some ways that you could potentially get lost, especially if you're less experienced with this. If this was a little bit confusing, I'd recommend going back and watching the very first video I did on the basics of boss hacking, just as a reminder. It might sort of help you with the fundamentals, and it might make this just make a bit more sense if this is a little bit confusing. As always, please do let me know any issues in the comments below. Do let me know how you get on and everything else. And as always, thank you very much for watching.